I just realized this works for seeing other things. Doesn't really work for seeing the preview of the Strim. Well, gosh darn. Yeah. The lag I caused. Okay, yes. Today, we shall not make the mistakes that I made yesterday, for the first time and only time ever whenever I've streamed in my lifetime, clicking out of the stream tab once I completed the stream, because apparently that really does actually prevent it from ever going up as a VOD, and it just disappears out of existence and acts like you never streamed in your life. That's pretty great. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well today, and see, I didn't wait 32 minutes to say that this time. 2 minutes, it is morning. It's finally cool outside and cloudy, and I decided today was a good day to stay home instead and do meditations instead of going out and exercising, which I probably should have done, but who really cares? It's not important anyway. So, today, maybe we'll get some Loda action. However, yes, I'm going to start out instead with a jet car and a Kirk Rock. Because that is in the thumbnail. Therefore, I'll need to make sure that I do things as shown in the thumbnail. So, goodbye! Yes. So that's not a complete lie and fraud, and you don't get what you see in the thumbnail. Plus. Yeah, this thing has absolutely zero turning radius, by the way, because again, torque, power, speed, the fact it's like just nothing but a big hunk of metal, and and then the fact, of course, all on top of it, it's long as fork. So, because of this, it ruins your life in terms of turning radius. Radii! This is like the worst vehicle to use at Kirk Rock or places like this, where it has a lot of slaloms, a lot of turns, a lot of apexes. It's just not very kind. You honk at me, you asshole. So yes, very nice. It takes a while to get a thumbnail because in order for me to get the thumbnails I do, I have to do an entire race. Then I have to go through the entire replay of the race just so I can then snag a thumbnail, because it's the only time where a thumbnail becomes really thumbnail opportunity really presents itself. I am going the wrong way. Disorientation. Yes. Actually, I should have used my shield. I forgot I had that. Too busy talking to remember things. Made himself mad, you would think. I just used reverse because I'm smart, and this thing, again, as you can tell, has zero turning. I couldn't even make it turn any more than it was doing there. So instead, I just regret my life. Yeah, no. It takes a very long time to get those kind of thumbnails, and then you gotta go into your editing software, in my case, to look through it as if you're gonna make a video, and then all that good stuff, and it's just depressing. Anyway, that's the routine. So yeah, then you go through your video, a lot of times frame by frame, to try and get the best possible frame you can for thumbnails. And of course, you go to your editing, your photo creation / editing software, like I use, which is GIMP. And then you regret your life, because then it takes another bit of time. It doesn't actually, it's the shortest thing, the quickest, simplest thing to do. You just grab the other transparent images, like the Nascar Rumble logo, and the live image there, and then you slap them as a layer, individual layers on top of everything, and then you die in fire. It's pretty rad. Anyway, so that took me to get a hold of a thumbnail for this specific stream. It took me all totaled, I think, about 40 minutes. It took way too long. I don't know. I was sitting here finishing the race, wondering, okay, so the race took apparently 17 or so minutes. How did that, and then only being able to get about 4.5 laps through the replay before, for some reason, the emulator said that I ran, there was insufficient insufficient space on the memory card, which is funny because it's virtual memory, because it's on your system, you're on your PC, not on a memory card. So it's like, that's hilariously out of place. How did I supposedly run out of memory, or it supposedly run out of memory. Just doesn't really make much sense. Goodbye, Bobear. So, yeah. But I ran into that, so that was interesting. I don't lie. Any clap. Wee. Wee. Double tornadoes are very handy for this beast of hell and death and despair that has no turn radius. Radii Cabadii. Again. I just had a flashback to my last doctor's appointment. Just the way I said again, and immediately I'm like, yes, I have a stethoscope to me, and they're just gonna repetitively, like, what is it, 5 to 8 times in a row tell you again. Again. It's just really depressing, honestly. But anyway, you know what? I'm gonna go for you. Oh, well, that's handy. Ain't dandy, Miss Mandy. Fun times. Well, that was a accidental button press of the reset button, but it didn't matter because I boosted. It is the jet propulsion, quite literally. Oh man, I almost made it up there. Except I couldn't quite. Yeah, see, there's no turn on this. This is as far as the turns left. God! It's because of this track also, and the fact again it has no turn radius. It makes it extensively infuriating to try and get up that little bit of a shortcut, because otherwise you have to do that ultra tight slalom, and it's just not kind to vehicles that can't turn. The RV, by the way, has far better turning radius than this. I think even if I remember correctly, even the tow truck has better turning radius than this. Although the tow truck, if it is any better, it's very slight. But yeah, the RV has a far better turning radius than this. This is abysmal. Abysmal beyond belief. How bad this is. Goodbye, Steve Barks. Barks?
Ooh, this looks promising.
Hey there, Steve Barks. You've returned. Oopsie daisy. Mesobize. Okay, well, you know what? That's rude. Ugh, it's a lovely day to be a piece of crap. You should try sometime, it's pretty rad. I have this problem with consistently smashing my up button, which just is the honk, so I'm just keep honking to oblivion, and it gets annoying pretty quickly. I have to go to like special training in order for myself not to make those. Is that it? Yes, okay, that is it. Errol. Well, the responsiveness on turning suddenly exploded through the roof. That makes sense. There we go. Send you off to the right. Also, there's a chance you can use corners to your advantage if you slow it down and aim just right. That they actually, well, good riddance. They might actually ping you off basically themselves, and so you'll actually end up having potentially more beneficial result in the end. Oh, this isn't gonna last long. Get old Compton down there. Hey, face by, and to get all picky up shit. Yes, ma'am. Well, I missed everything. Yay. Gonna be even better. Go through this system of swing schwangs only to have another twister come right back around at you and snag you again. Although yeah, I was gonna say I was pretty sure I was far enough down. It's not gonna eat me again. Why do I? That's the second time I've done that. As soon as I let one go, I just pick up another, and I just picked up another. And I'm pretty sure all of them are the ones that I left behind. So that's nice. Oh, yes. Brake, brake, brake! This thing has a hideous brake at that, too. It has such an abhorrent brake. Like, it has so much weight to it and propulsion that the brakes barely even work because thus the reverse barely works because it has so much weighted momentum forward with its alongside its propulsion that it just is so much resistance against brakes and turns. Like the length itself does the same thing. It's ridiculous. Serendiculi, lobiculi. Barrel roll. You tell I knew that result was gonna happen. Is that it? Yeah, okay, good. Making sure that wasn't the reset button. Stacy Compton. Okay, well, that. Hey, buddy, turn that frown upside down. Okay. And dead.
Whoops.
It happens. Actually, you know what? This oil slick is actually handy for this vehicle because it adds a little bit to turn radius because, of course, it's oil slick, so it's going to be slippery for the vehicle. Which means with all these turns, apexes, and slaloms, it actually is going to enable it to actually turn better. Have an increased radius. Also, I just realized we're on lap 6.
Here's a little
So that was a waste of a shield. I should have just maintained that all the way to the very last lap. Or second to last, actually. That would work too. Again, considering the horrors of this vehicle versus this track. So they were right behind me, I guess. Well, that's fair. And balanced. Unlike, yeah, PayPal news. Bonk! Okay. Bonk. Alright. I'm literally intentionally just hitting the rocks at this point. Please? Yes! That's what I was looking for! Look at that, we're cooking. Got ourselves a shield to replace the shield I had there for about a lap. I expended this lap, now that lap. Isn't this pleasant? More pleasant than pleasant in California, which is actually very easy to do. You heard nothing. I'll take the Storm and the Twaster because it's not the last lap. Next to last lap, so it's most imperative we have all shield for the next lap. If we don't have it for the next lap, then who are we even anymore? Okay. Question: whether you're in the stream or you are watching in the hood / archive, whichever one you prefer to refer to it as. Yes. What is your favorite animal that is not a variety of wolf? Or, I'm sorry, a variety of dog. Variety of wolf. Good job, self. Yeah, push the gas while you're braking. That'll help brake more. Honk at myself for the no particular reason other than I can. Wait. Yars. Yar? Yeah, besides a dog, any kind of a dog or any kind of a cat. Wait, that's not the right one. That's premature. Please no Don't get. Appreciate. The way it just flew out of view is great. Also, another question. Again, another in the live stream or in the vid. I'd love to know. What is one of your biggest dreams? Something you just really want to do in your life? No matter how old you are, or young, or whatever you are. Yeah. Yeah, what is one of your dreams you'd look to achieve and be able to make come true in your life? Yeah. But how about this with a caveat? That is not. My brain's dying, of course. It's like, oh, I'm looking at things, and I know I'm coming up on this corner, which apparently I'm never gonna make. Am I? I am gonna make it. Never mind. I lied to myself. Yeah, my brain's like, it's like, I require undivided attention to push buttons. It's quite literally my brain functionality in a nutshell. Try this again, yes. The caveat to that question of a dream you would like to make sure you achieve at some point in your life is. The last result I would have expected is win that. Oh no, I thought I had the fastest lap. I need the fastest lap. What was my caveat? Do I even have ability to recommend, to remember what the heck it was? Right, that is just for fun. It's like, people might consider it pointless or childish or whatever else. What is your... one that applies with that isn't necessarily important or anything like that. It just would be really fun for you, that you would love to do. Let me know in chat and or comments, whether live or in the VOD, the answer to that question, because that would be really fun to know as well. For sure. Now, I've given people this advice before because it is true. It's advice that I might as well use myself, that I try to a lot of times, but then I don't end up doing it sometimes. I have my saliva, so clearly I'm a good person to take advice from in life. God damn it. What? Wait, no. I wasn't asking a question. So why is it my brain? This is like, you can tell, I'm just like the most penultimate person to take advice from. Clearly, I'm Chad Little. I'm the best person to take advice from. ADVC. And one more? Okay.
Finders keepers.
Yerp. Rick! Rick!
Why? Now that's record.
God! See, you fumped yourself, you dipshit. Anyway, where was I? God, distractions everywhere.
Let the games begin.
I just set myself in the air. Accidentally pushing double buttons. Oh, this has started out fabulously, this race.
You were asking
Yeah, look at this. We're just flying in this one already. Right off the bat. God, and getting hit everywhere. Hey, right, where was I? Was I? Oh, weird. Somebody actually already took the shortcut. Normally that's not supposed to happen until you take it. Interesting. Oh, but where was I? I keep asking myself that question because I really haven't a clue. Where was I? Idvisi. Right, don't try to force commentary. Don't make yourself, when you're doing live stream recording, the most helpful thing for myself is just let yourself naturally flow into your commentary rather than trying to make yourself talk about some specific subjects or talk about anything in particular. Especially, clearly, if you have attention deficit. If you have attention deficit, you definitely, like myself, you definitely, clearly, if you take me as an example, do not want to force yourself to talk about anything specific. Because if you do, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, essentially. Because it's just not a fun time. Because your attention span, or I guess the lack thereof. And yeah, just trying to stay on topic of whatever the topic is that you have made yourself commit to trying to talk about. Well, those two in tandem, usually they're gonna bite you in the butt. They're gonna shoot yourself. They're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. Good English. They're gonna result in you shooting yourself in the foot because, yeah, it's just a rough time, basically. Yes. Keep that in mind, and clearly, again, I'm a pretty damn good example of that because I prove it every stream, especially. Because there's always that thing with live streaming and recording where you feel like you're not doing a good job if you aren't constantly giving commentary, at least giving commentary for like 70, 75, 80% of the time. Because then there's too many gaps in speech, there's too many gaps in commentary, it's too quiet, or whatever else. And to be fair, there's obviously plenty of valid reasoning behind that and those feelings of like, I'm not giving enough commentary. But forcing commentary, especially again when attention deficit, like myself, results in this kind of a stream and this kind of a thing where you have a tough time talking about anything. You have a tough time giving commentary because it's kind of semi-forced. Even if you're like super into whatever topic it is that you're committed to talking about,
it ends up being so forced because of all the above. Like, you can't get yourself to stick to a subject. Goodbye. You can't, you know, just kind of things like that. And that's a life thing I need to really get a grip on myself with, is listening to my goddamn self, my own gut, my own knowledge, my own experience, my own advice. Because I am most frequently am happy and able and give people advice. Oops. I give others advice that this is turning out fabulously. That you know, I would intend and I do follow, or at least I think I follow, but then a lot of times when I give it, then I realize it's like, yeah, listen to yourself, you dipshit. Because I'd say it's roughly 60% of the time, or sometimes more, depends on my day especially, but about 60% of the time, I just fail at listening to myself, listening to my own advice, taking my own advice, even though obviously I give it because it's honest advice, it makes sense, it fits, it's true, it's real, it's helpful. I know that, but I just don't. I have this weird thing where I just have the hardest time being able to take my own damn advice or listen to my own self, my own experience, and be like, yeah, blatantly, I've been proven that that's helpful. That's why I'm giving that. Why don't I frickin' listen to it in myself then, right? Don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a weird form of self-consciousness, like, you know, or it's feeling like it's a weird form of arrogance or something, or what have you. It's something, though, and Whee! I don't exactly know how to explain it beyond it's something, though. Because, though, I mean, that is technically true. Or slash technically the truth. So yeah, it's just something that's tough for me to grapple. I really am in a learning process right now to start committing to. Like, committing to my own advice that I would give other people, and I do give other people, because freaking listen to yourself, dude. Like, a lot of this advice I know is the advice that I feel like I guess I kind of needed throughout my life from other people. It's kind of, I guess, like, maybe that's it. Maybe internally I just need that to be reaffirmed by having other people give that same advice to me, rather than simply getting the advice for myself. Maybe it's this weird form of uncertainty. I don't know. It's interesting because all I can do is speculate and kind of look in on it and be like, But that does sort of make some sense when I think about it. Like, it does fit. So, maybe it is. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, because, yeah, I listen to myself giving advice. Like, one of the latest episodes, in fact, it was the latest episode of my podcast, of course, is Chatterbox. I gave basically, I guess, kind of like advice and all that at the very end, and just kind of my perspective on something, which ended up actually being advice at the same time. I'm like that, and I even said in it, I was like, this applies to literally anybody and everybody, whether you're, in this case, a foster kid or in the adoption system or not. And literally, a thought in that was bad timing. The thought in the back of my head was, yeah, this is obviously true. Why don't you finally listen to yourself, you know? Because there's always, I guess it is a form of insecurity, even if I don't want to believe it, because my typical kind of like pessimism and all that. That was bad timing. Pessimism, but not so much pessimism as it is, I guess, cynicism. And being a naturally defiant person, it's probably really more what it is that comes from. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I just, again, I would highly recommend I don't exactly remember exactly where I started that off on that subject, but I guess it's the forcing, yeah, my advice giving here about not trying to force commentary, because it'll usually end up shooting yourself in the foot as a result, especially if you're in a deficit, again, like myself. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, occasionally you might get into a flow when it is a topic you really wanted to talk about because it's important to you and you believe it and everything else. So, yeah, it does fit the script as well that I was and am able to, for the most part, not get too distracted and actually stick to the script, so to speak, stick to my own advice here. That was a bad mistake. I've done that how many times now so far in the stream? Like 3? 4? I think it's 3 or 4 times. Probably 4 times. I think I've done that in the stream alone. I've accidentally touched 2 different buttons at once and reset myself. Speaking of distracting yourself from their topic, but yeah, it makes sense to me that, you know, obviously, yeah, that's the thing. You can eventually sometimes wind up actually sticking to whatever topic it is without getting too distracted, without ruining it for yourself and all that. Being able to talk freely about it without issues. But I mean, eventually it may come back once you finish that topic, and then you might start kind of like I am right now, kind of breaking and stuttering here and there, getting a little more in your own head about thinking about your next words and everything. God, the grip in this thing is disgusting. But yeah, so it's just something to consider and keep in mind. Obviously, nobody has to listen to me or my advice if they don't want to, blatantly, because that's called being an autonomous individual, and you get to make up your own mind. That's your prerogative. But anyway, so advice with Daniel Greco-Stein, Mr. Frog himself.
King of the road.
Yes, mom. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just kind of interesting, but at the same time, one of the reasons why I kind of like to be open and talk about things, besides just simple transparency, is
Fire one.
I really enjoy knowing that it might help somebody to just even hear me just talking through whatever it is I'm talking about, in this case advice. It might actually help somebody, because it might be along their lines of thinking where it just, I don't know, something might just click with them, and they might just suddenly, like, immediately have an answer that they've been looking for a while, or figured something out about themselves that they've been looking for a while, you know. Which is super important too, like, you know, because there's not enough of that kind of kindness and respect and dedication in the world to helping each other out, especially with people who are, say, quote-unquote abnormal, whatever else. Whatever you might want to refer to it and or yourself as. This actually probably will just barely reach those guys at the back. I'm not sure. We shall watch, wait, and see. But yeah, you know, so, I don't know, that's why I like to do that. You know, and it's always something of a bit of a comfort for myself to enjoy. So yeah, pretty much, man. It's pretty radical. Indie Citadel. By the way, whenever I say sciatical, I'm saying citadel. Like, that's how it's spelled, as like a citadel. But I always call them and refer to them as sciaticals. I don't know why, it's just something I've autopiloted into over time in my life, so why not? See that? Back of the pack. Everybody but second place. The golf cart. Again with the golf cart. But yeah, everybody but second place got affected by both my tornadoes, which is super freaking rad. In fact, you can tell the person in the very back, Chad, he got the most heavily affected by both of them. I don't think the other one necessarily got anybody else, but I do know definitely that last one did. I got held back just enough that I was able to impact them negatively in a massive manner, and I'm very happy to say I did that. I ruined their race. Yay! Hey, I kicked their teeth in. I had insult to injury. However you want to describe it. It's pretty freaking rad, bro. Yeah, let's get it. All right, shall we go with the what we ended last stream with? Right. I forgot that's an option. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Do this how we did ended last one. Let's do Cibre Tim. Go with the front loaders. Dual front loaders. Ruin our lives. You know what? I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna do exactly what we ended last stream with, which is. That's not right. What? What? Okay, there we go. Yeah, go with Swamp Romp. If we can duplicate that ending to that race that we ended last stream with, that apparently is going to pretend like it never existed in his life again, I'm going to be so happy.
Oh, honey, I'm so happy.
Mrs. Doubtfire reference for the year. Yeah, because that was so hilarious. That was the most epic, hilarious fashion to end that stream and that race. Both.
Oh yeah.
Wrong button again.
That's something.
Yeah, so if we can duplicate the end this race the same way as we ended that one, it's gonna be hilariously epic.
Driving like a maniac. I like
Yeah. All right. So there it is. Oh no!
not backwards.
Help! Help! I'm falling. I can't get up. I'm falling. I can't get down with the sickness.
I don't know what the hell that was. Apparently getting down with the sickness is what that was. Oh, that's a low vantage, but I kind of like it. For the fact that, I don't know, it almost feels like it gives me a little more control. I just jumped right over my teammate. Nicely done.
Loser.
And then I missed a button again. Okay, that's too close. And that's just disgusting. Let's go this way. And that did not work at all. Thank you.
Get that license plate?
Whoever you are, one of the legends. I don't think that's Davey Allison. Yeah, Davey Allison's the one with the black, gold, or I guess black and bronze.
First gear.
I guess, yeah, you call it gold. Black, gold, and
Good. Yeah. Turn it on.
black, gold, and white. There we go. Jesus Christ, memory. Words, brain, things. I just got screwed, literally, by my own teammate. That was great. I literally ended up landing directly on top of his frickin' shovel. Which is pretty rad. That's basically what happened last time, except it was me that... Well, no, yeah, it was. It was me that got screwed over. He screwed me over right at the finish line. Screwed a couple of other people's over. But he especially screwed himself over, and or themselves over. It's just like, you dipshit. Look what you have done.
Concept here is to win, dude.
Nah, that's overrated. God, flip dicking, damn it.
Help!
Good riddance. That's great.
Oi!
Perfect timing to exit
Look out,
that.
everybody.
Good riddance again. I love the accidental pits that happen so frequently in this game because, again, 18-year-old physics engine. Oh, it's so good. It's so rich. It's so diverse.
Oh my god!
Oh, come on, yes, thank you.
It's salmon.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Whee!
Oh, God damn it. I was hoping I touched the spoiler. Would you, like, not be rude? That'd be great. Thanks.
See, you're looking
Oh, he was stuck down there, too.
on the bright side.
All
you
right.
Can't do any worse.
Good riddance. That was fast. Or not fast, sorry. That was just good timing is what that was.
Ooh, happy birthday.
To avoid his hammer time. No.
How this feels.
Why did I wait so long? No. Okay, well. I ruined my own lift. My name is Skiff. I have a quiff. Yay.
Yeah, buddy!
Alright. And boost it to get back up to first speed. Well, that was a waste and a half. I thought it was close enough to what's his face up there. Is that Wally? I don't think that's Wally Dollenbach. It might be, though. I just haven't gotten a good view of his vehicle.
Don't get big-headed.
Oh, now he's frozen, so I still can't figure out who the hell he is. That's great. Oh,
Hey,
wait.
it's always time for payback.
That explains why. It is Wally Dollenbach. Okay, never mind.
Showtime.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I have an itchy calf. It's exactly the commentary information you long to know. To know? Close enough. Alright.
Make good use out of that.
Yep. Ugh.
Up, up, and away.
Shipwreck!
I ended up my own wreck. Yeah.
He was filthy.
Filthy! Bobby Ellison. Okay. I was right. It was one of the Allisons. Winky dinks. All pricks and knees.
Thank you, bro.
It was just great timing there. Just considering how close we were to this. And he avoided it just fine. Just far enough up there. It didn't really matter. I love the invisible walls. Again, with the 18-year-old physics, it's just amazing. Hey, buddy! Hey, buddy! How you doing, teammate of mine? Better than me, apparently. I'm just have no steering suddenly at that point.
That's the short end of the stick.
That active avoidance of the oil slick. Squatty Boy Hansen. How much you want to actually bet that he's actually truly Scandinavian? Yes! I was like, oh please, come on! I was about to get so upset if it didn't actually let me, yikes, let me hammer him. That's also what she said. Whee! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, I'm right there. Oh! Oh man, the torque. Jesus Christ. Plus? Well, I did make contact, but it didn't count.
Sweet.
Good riddance, buddy old mine. Buddy old pal! Yep, the one thing I should have done before I did this was eat, and I didn't eat. So that's great.
See, you're looking
You should try starving yourself sometime, it's pretty rad.
That ain't fair.
God damn it. It's good for the soul. Ugh. Ugh. Blarg!
Cling to the road now
Blank.
as a hair above.
Yep. One of the things that make this game so great is the commentary they added to it. Like, you just compare that to things like, which also Crash Team Racing is obviously the best of the all the different games that are spawned from knocking off Mario Kart. Definitely the best of the whole Mario Kart style games. Mario Kart doesn't compare to Crash Team Racing. Crash Team Racing is definitely the ultimate edition. That said, though, is that of all these games, this is obviously one of those editions of those games. This, like, if you just imagine, like, say, Crash Team Racing or even Mario Kart having this kind of commentary,
Let's rock.
it would add such an awesome element. I mean, to be fair, I'll take that happily because I'm frozen, so it doesn't really matter. Screwed by my teammate again. Well, it's promising if we get that ending at this point. He's we're screwing each other over about as much as you could hope for in that sense. Ooh, thank you, physics. And there's a teammate. Whoa! Again, nah, wrong button again.
What was he
Physics
doing? Driving in reverse?
says hello yet again. Darn, couldn't quite
Forward, not backward.
drift myself out of that. Hoping I could get enough momentum with the lack of steering and grip to work in my flavor. But nope, didn't do it. I should have just kept going straight. That's what I thought. I thought it would actually spit me out, and it would have, but then I ruined my life, and I ruined my life again. Didn't that? Yeah, that happened on this exact same lap, I think, in the last race. It's either that or it was like 6 of 8, but...
Oh, this looks promising.
And then, yeah, I somehow managed to boost myself out of there. Goodbye. Twice. Times 2. And, yeah.
Good move. Keep behind you.
He just used the jets,
Keep up the pace.
just slinked in there with the jets right as he got screwed up, literally, to get immediately going again like I usually do. Also, consider that. Like, think about the concept of having an IRL race, like a real, true... Oh, that's not good. Real, true, full-blooded race, but in this kind of a style, this kind of a context, in real life, and your teammates consistently can honk at each other. Like your teammate, if they pass you, they'll just honk at you. Something. Oh, you honk at anybody, but you can especially honk at each other as teammates. That would be so cool. This is not okay. I am currently really offended because I'm being assaulted and there's no resources or place for me to get support. I feel really violated right now. Stop abusing me. I'm a horrible person, but you shouldn't be suffering such abuse. Okay? Like
a maniac.
oh, you gotta be mean. Of course, you know, if you're constantly commentating, yeah, like I do, I always have this color commentary that just goes on. I mean, if you don't like this stuff, it's hilarious because you're gonna really hate me in real life. Like, I do this by myself very frequently. It's just one of the reasons, actually, when I first started YouTubing, is one of the motivations was that I already knew I had what it took to be a commentator, because I always am commentating live for literally nothing. The walls, the floorboards, the oxygen particles in the air, myself, it doesn't matter. I'm commentating. I'll even argue with or commentate or talk to and talk with and ridicule inanimate objects and the game itself, the characters in the game, as if it can hear me. It's or if it responds. It's actually pretty funny. So, it kind of fits the mold of being a commentator slash YouTuber. So, you are. God damn it.
Why you do this to me?
Again with this bullshit. Yep. Okay, nowhere over 60, because then I get screwed. Literally. Haven't had a don't get it twisted reference yet. When tornado spawns. That was invalid. Ugh. Oh, by the way, something I've always found interesting with scanners, or I should say, I guess, 911 dispatching, when you get to see the what the call is, or call type is, on them. One of the interesting facts of it, I don't know if I mentioned this in a video before. I think I actually have once upon a time. In fact, it might have been in a live stream of this game, because it makes sense, because usually invalid assist is going to be for somebody who's been in a car accident, a really bad one, has been incapacitated. But there's such a thing as called invalid assist. And invalid basically means that they're incompetent. They're at a point where they can't respond. They're non-responsive. They're basically unconscious is effectively what it means. They're a potato. So yeah. And since there's something called invalid assist, I realized there's a really shitty reference and joke. Holy flick dicking hell. What the heck? In invalid and invalid, because they're literally spelled exactly the same. Crap! That's horrible timing. I bumped my my resting finger bumped the Windows key again, so I couldn't turn. Flip dick. 4th out of 5th. Yeah, nope. Somebody's already finished. We're not. We're gonna best we could get is 3rd. Or. Oh, it gave Dollenbach the finish when he didn't even cross or touch the line. Are you kidding? Assholes. Well, we did get the same result in the sense that we ended up losing. So you did yesterday, but gosh darn. Anyway, yeah, so when I first saw it, and I didn't know about invalid being a thing, when I first saw it, I literally read it as invalid assist. And it did make a little bit of sense in my mind. Like, hey, that makes some sense. Like, I suppose that makes some sense that you could potentially have a legitimate 911 call, like a what would it be, non-emergency police response. Kind of acts like a welfare check. almost to people who do a invalid assist, I guess.
Remember how this feels.
If that makes any sense. So yeah, when I first saw that, I literally read it and thought of it as invalid. I thought, interesting. I didn't know that could be a thing.
You call yourself a race driver?
So yeah.
That's a thing. English is such a stupid language. There's so many words that are like that, where they're spelled exactly the same, but they're two completely different words. It's weird, and they're also said differently because that makes total sense. It's like one of the dumbest languages just because of that. It makes no flip-dicking sense. It's like, why are you like this? You know, it's like, oh, it's so easy. Hey, look! Hey, yeah, perfect distraction piece here. Look at who's behind us. It's Mr. McDonald's himself. Mr. McDonald's sponsorship himself, man. How rad is that?
He's hopping like
That's his career accomplishment right there. Was that multi-million-dollar contract? I mean, like probably $600,000 contract or something like that. Between him, his team, and then Mickey D's.
that. Couldn't avoid that. Hey, that was a good box.
I know. I've abused myself. I feel incredibly violated. I've violated my own self and inner sanctity and peace.
Amigo.
Oh, well, you know, I always wanted a gift of this nature.
Stay as far as you can to the left. Thank you. That is why you would want to do that. Mr. Mickey D's life accomplishment being Mickey D's sponsorship on his car himself. Bill Elliott. Yes, ma'am. Darn tootin' Miss Putin. Hot dairy dude, hot day snoog. Right. By the way, I should mention this. I've been considering, besides the fact that I mentioned this, I think also in the last couple, it was just the last one or was the one before? One of those three options. Episodes of Chatterbox. I had mentioned my intent on considering
Well, here we are.
starting up the series I was doing
Let the games
on brain please on this war of mine. The goal originally of that series was simply to try to last and survive till day 20. We did that and we surpassed it. So now it's a matter of just simply surviving as long as we can, hopefully to the completion point when the war is over. See what we can do. But one of the things I mentioned about that kind of makes it a little inconvenient is the fact that I have to go back and watch at least like the last 2 or 3 episodes I did in order to catch myself back up, to remember everything I did before I started up again. And the inconvenient thing with this war of mine that I wish they would have changed is that I wish they would allow you to have multiple playthroughs, so multiple saves, but instead they don't allow that. They've always only had it to where you can only have one save at a time. So if you try to start a new series or another one, or you try to start another save or anything like that, it automatically deletes whatever your last save was, and therefore you have no ability to do that. And you also have no ability to manually save, which would be so convenient and so helpful if they just had that practical implementation of a typical saving system where you could just save, or it would auto save at, you know, intervals. Because what happens is, and it's very obvious if you ever go back and watch that series or anything in it, is that I believe I always stop at night, or either that I always stop in the beginning of the day, because one of those two, it has to be one or the other. I can't remember which one it is, because I think it's beginning of the day after the night, right? Yeah, I think I just stop in the day, because beginning of the day is what I always have to do, because it's super inconvenient because you don't have a save feature, and the way it saves itself at the completion of a night. So if you, I believe it's at the completion of a night. It's something like that to where it's inconvenient because then where you stop, you lose like half of a day's worth, or thus so either a day's or a night's worth of progress that you've made in the game. And for especially doing a series, it's super inconvenient that they don't have just a typical traditional saving feature, because they really should. It's just practical, it's logical, it makes perfect sense. But instead, for some reason, the studio, was it 11-bit studios, they don't do that. I'm not sure why they don't do that. It just doesn't make any sense. If they did that, I might actually start a different series instead, alongside that one. But we'll see if I actually end up doing that series or not again. Pick it up for a third time. I probably will, because I'm really tempted to, and I've been wanting to play this War of Mine every so often lately. So there's no better way to do it than to also kind of throw yourself back into doing a little bit of YouTube for gaming again, which is the original point of the channel, was for mainly gaming content. I mean, yes, variety content was emphasized always, but so I could post whatever I wanted on it, but it would still have the emphasis and the main focus being gaming. But the reason why, of course, I didn't do that, as I've explained many a time, is because, or I stopped doing gaming stuff for a long time, is just because it gets, I get so quickly demotivated because it's the same games and the same content over and over and over again, and I just don't want to do that to myself or to anybody else. It's super demotivating. So instead of just typecasting myself effectively to one specific type of game, I want to be able to allow myself the ability to post variety and thus record and live stream variety content. But I need a much better PC. I need a much better computer system than that in order to achieve doing my dream in here in YouTube, especially gaming wise, of being able to have a system that can legitimately handle any and all games I throw at it at any point in time, along with live streaming, of course, and recording. It's really tough to be able to pull that off with a crappy system, so that's what I've always struggled with. So that being said, I still might pick it up again, because I always enjoy myself making sure I do periodic, come on, you've got to be kidding me, periodic, periodic tables, no, periodic, my head just said lawsuits. That makes total sense as well. How the hell did I do that? Physics, you're rude.
Now that hurts.
Crap. On a cracker. Just a lot of fun to get back into the swing of enjoying yourself and recording and live streaming and doing gaming stuff. At least for me, at least, you know, like at least once a year for a month or a couple. And I haven't started to do that yet this year, and it's far later than normal when it comes down to that stuff. So it's really inconvenient, but it is what it is, and it be what it be. So yeah. But hey, you know what? Tain't the end of the world, and I can still enjoy myself even for the short periods that I do. Do content, and yeah, so that's why I'm here today, and I was here yesterday with this stuff because I've been wanting to do this again. I've been wanting to get back in the swing, and it's kind of turned out that that's the basis for this War of Mine series. Is I pick it up once every year, I do another, say, 4 to 8 episodes of it, and then I stop for almost the entire year, and then we start it up all over again the next year around the same time. You know, I don't know why. It actually feels right now because it's just like the natural flow I have now with it. It just comes so naturally. So, is that a bad thing? No, I wouldn't say it is. I think a lot of people might think so, but I don't think it is. It just became the way that series works, the way it's built. And I gotta say, I strongly appreciate how that's turned out and how it feels and how much fun I have with it. So, how much progress we've made? Like, I swear I never did much different with it than, Then I did the first series I tried, where we ended up failing to get to 20 days. So yeah, you know, it's just something that I don't know. I want to pick up again. But yeah, there was a point for why I mentioned that in the first place, and then ended up explaining in way too grave of detail that thing when that wasn't the point initially. The point initially was to say that I wanted to. It was something about picking up either another series or starting to do something along those lines of doing gaming stuff again. I guess maybe it was just in general. It probably was just in general, I imagine. General. But we shall see, because I do not know. What is with everybody in Hammer Time? Come on now. You ain't MC Hammer. Get out of here, boy. You ain't no pastor. By the way, fun fact, if you didn't know it, the guy behind MC Hammer, I can't remember what his actual name was right now, but he was actually a pastor. Quite literally, he was a pastor, and then he became an MC. It's actually really freaking rad. It's pretty cool. And then he, I believe he went back to being a pastor part-time again after that, while he still did little concerts for his faculty, so to speak. For students of the faith. Keep the faith! Keep the faith! Keep the faith! Everybody keep the faith! Mother, all the things we've done I can't erase. And then I throw my face in mace, because it's hard to leave the world without a trace. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Anyway, yeah, been fun chatty caffeine and doing some gums, having some fun. And again, this is also a redemption stream, because yesterday I clicked out of this tab, the stream tab, and apparently as a result, that stops YouTube from being able to make it into a VOD. Don't ask me why. So that stream is never going to be again, apparently, because I made a mistake. So this one, I'm not going to exit out of the tab, but alas, we are going to end the stream here. So I hope you did enjoy this, whether it's in the stream or in the VOD. Be sure to live out your dreams without fear or hesitation. Go out there, live life for fun, rather than for achievements or for other people or for clout or any of that bullshit. Instead, live your life for fun, because the cliches are true. YOLO, and you only live once. That is very true, at least in our interpretation and the way of our ability to comprehend and understand what we do and don't. At least what we think we understand. And secondarily, the other cliche is the fact of the matter that you only live once, and life is short, and you never know when you're set to expire, you're set to croak. Then you never know. You could die within 15 minutes from now, an hour, 2 days, 4.6 weeks, or 43.4 months, or even 7 years. It doesn't matter. You never know when it'll happen. And since you don't know that, all of it here, you should only live in the present and live for fun and thrill and enjoying yourself, however it may be fun for you. And not worrying about what other people think or say or do or anything else. Because after all, otherwise life's already stressful enough. Why add more stresses to your life, right? Exactly. So, I hope you have enjoyed, and otherwise, stay safe, stay fluffy, have a great night wherever you are. I hope to see you in the next video. Stay epic and motivated, everything else, and believe in yourself. Know that other people believe in you. And let's get this bread, let's get life. Take it and make it all beach tree. I didn't totally intentionally censor myself because YouTube BS, even though I can't have any monetization because I don't have 1,000 or more subscribers. Shh, you heard nothing. As I said, stay safe, have a great day or night wherever you are, and boo-bye.